Hello, hello everybody. It has been a minute since I streamed. When was last stream? Quite a while ago now, I feel. It's been a lot of Netrunner happening, but not all of it has been on this channel. I don't even think I streamed after Cambridge, so it's been a couple of weeks, and there's been things happening. Including winning Cambridge and including coming fourth at Reading with Padma, which is pretty nice. Now I may play this one on stream because I don't really see why not. Technically, there's already basically a video about it, but this list is so sweet. And I get been getting a lot of questions about it from the Discord, so it'll be a good chance to discuss some of them potentially. Namely, everyone seems to be like, why is there no multi-access? Can't you put in twinning? Can't you put in, like, multi-access to this list? And the answer is no. Well, you can. Obviously, you can. But you kind of can't because there's the point of the list is not to, like, sweep centrals and win early, or even to sweep centrals and win in the mid-game, like, is typical. The aim of the game is to, like, control everything, lock it all down, and just don't let anything happen until eventually you win. So a big point of the deck is that every slot that you put into multi-access and like winning is a slot that you're not putting into controlling. That means econ and breakers and stuff. And also quick setup and draw, but mostly just like money. So having only one slot for cataloger and basically no other win con means that we have 44 slots that are like awesome stuff. You know, it means we've got so many overclocks. We've got stuff like this. We've got draw. We've got infinite money with ghost tongues and mamies. So I think it might just boot up a game. And maybe display what's going on here with this Padma list. Yep, this is all good. Big Padma. I think this is the most updated version. Yeah, big booty Padma. Headed to my local megacity in just a bit with me. Oh, good luck, Zam. I hope you win. What are you playing if you have time to answer? What do you bring into your megacity? Because I did pretty poorly in my megacities. It was before the meta had settled, and I was way too optimistic about like asset decks, especially asset PD decks that were not like. I was actually doing poetry mostly, and I kind of got rolled because everyone's playing Seb, and this was when Seb was like the best thing to be doing. So I was like, I hope there's no Seb, and then everyone's playing Seb. So I didn't do very well in my megacities. Also, no, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I did well at megacities. I didn't do well at my districts. Megacities is you're playing a Rush Loop Newbum list similar to what got third at Worlds and Anacam Seb. Anacam Seb. Sorry, I had mixed up in my head what sort of tournament you're talking about. It's Anacam Seb. I don't even know what that looks like, to be honest. Let me have a look. I guess there's like no other console that you like absolutely love. Amanuensis is good, but it's not always good. So maybe you're just cards used. Seb. Anacam. Search. Fiverr, what's on a Summer Showdown? I should probably know what this is then. Damn, no one wants to play with me, huh? And we're doing Audrey's, and I guess we're just like Audreying on the off turn with our buffer drive, just drawing loads and loads of cards. Yeah, I guess if you don't want to be open to tag punishment, you get a lot of card draw with Anacam and Audrey, like famously. All right, sweet, that's kind of fun. And we're doing the how many charms are we on? 3 Devil Charms, 3 Crews, and 1 Harmony for Recursion now. I guess you get like a Praxis and a Crew back. That's probably the best you can do for the most part. Anything else? I like the 2 Eye for an Eyes. This is smart. This is going to win you games. Because of PD. Just ripping a couple of Eye for an Eyes can just end the game. Solidarity's pretty good in this meta. Yeah, looks really nice. This looks like a lot of fun actually. And it's really just 1 Audrey, sorry, 2 Audrey, 1 Rising Tide as the Breaker Suite. That's good too. Hello, Mr. Yeti. Well done again on your sweep. Your number 1 at Reading. I want to try out your Big Splat at some point. Well, I haven't played it, but I'm pretty optimistic for it. I think, like I mentioned to you, it's like Melee SU is awesome. It is, you can do so much cool stuff out of it, and there are so many like opportunities for fun gameplay within that ID. But there is probably like a handful of lists that are like the best things that you can do out of it, and it's taken a really long time to find them. The tag version took a minute to kind of come together, and then excited everyone for a while, but I'm kind of thinking maybe it's not the best thing you can be doing. It's just a good thing you can be doing. I think the one big deal, 2 measured, forever and always off like threatening Regenesis game plan that you've got going on with Big Splat might be like the top of what's available for Melee SU, like crushingly good. And I suspect as a list, either that list or very similar to that list is going to be the thing to beat with regard to Melee SU lists. I think we're getting to the horizon of the best strongest Melius U. I think there are probably other builds that haven't been found yet about for Melius U as well. Because the ID's so cracked. You can kind of do whatever you want out of it, but there's still probably the best thing to be doing it. Regenesis is very strong, yeah? Oh, yeah. And the more you're abusing it, the better you're doing for the most part. Unless you're playing Plutus, in which case you don't run any. I love the tag deck as well. The tag deck was like inspirational. Of like I was not considering these cards at all, and now I just have to because that's someone very creative came up with a very good idea. Okay, so what you want in this deck is you want Spark, and you want Mamie, and you want Ghost Tongue. Failing that, you want Draw and Econ. And this hand has Draw and Econ in it. Burn is pretty good early, to be honest. It can hit some key pieces and just send them back to the Stone Age, especially because against Padma, they're probably going to ice R&D first. It's a really interesting hand. I think I will keep this because it's not exactly what I want, but hopefully Nuka will draw what I want. And if I just mulligan and I draw a breaker, it's really bad. So this is going to give me enough stuff to play the game. The creative is nice. The Nuka is like the reason I'm keeping it, because if they don't ice R&D, I will actually smoke them with the Nuka. Nuka is like a big part of why this deck is good. If they're presenting a threat early, that means they're probably not icing R&D. Okay, so it's just a spin to find more options. They kept, so I should expect their hand to be at least decent. So install and res spin is not usually what you see when someone keeps. They found Hansei, and I'm going to guess ice on R&D. They might be spinning away something here. Yeah. Okay, so I can't run R&D because things like Lion's Mane will blow me out, which really stinks. But that's, I guess, to be expected. I'm going to Buyer to install this Nuka, and I'm going to run... I guess I could, like, Burner first. Not a few lines here. I could also run Archives to see if it's a spin. Not really sure. I'm going to say that they picked HQ, most likely. I would really like to deny them a proc, but I'm going to do 2 Centrals runs this turn for sure, in order to, you know, make sure they don't get 2 procs by feathering these out. I guess we just Burner first. See if it's HQ. If it's HQ, it's HQ. It is HQ. I would happily put a Bite to the bottom. What else am I doing? Measure Response is still a ways off mattering. Hedge Fund is actually probably better. They just added a card and Archives to HQ. So they didn't add the Hansei. Hi, Lucy. So they didn't add the Hansei, which makes me actually not want them to have the measured. Sorry, the hedge fund, because that's going to be an annoying amount of money to deal with. So Bite can go to the bottom of R&D, and hedge fund also. They can hold on to the measured for a minute. Then I'm going to... I didn't see anything in HQ that I care to touch, so I'm going to do this on Archives to see if I can get the spin to pop. They did not pop spin, so I'm going to draw 2. I'm going to install a card paying 1 less, which can be the Nuka. Another measured response over there. That's very interesting. Okay, I guess I'm going to draw Creative Commission. I could rigging up this Anacam, but I can do that next turn as well. I could Nuka draw, but that would put me to 7 cards. I'd be down to 6, so I'd still have to discard. So I don't want to do that. So just draw Creative is fine. Take would be nice. Okay, hopefully without that hedge fund, they won't be able to develop too quickly. Not yet, he says, don't love jungle. Yeah, jungle is falling off. Mostly because Lotus Haze is so bad. So scoring these these nonsense agendas is too much work. Okay, so they have infinite money. I put a hedge fund to the bottom, and they didn't even pick up their Hansei because they have such disgusting totals of cash. That's fine. I can rigging up my Anacam, which works because it just does. I can draw with Nuka. I've immediately drawn my breaker. I can rigging up Lobby, and it's not like the end of the world. Let's just gamble Dag, kind of hide my my reach best I can. And then next turn rigging up Lobby can draw me with Anacam. They could get me a few counters. I'm not like, if I click Nuka next turn, I might draw Sparks, which if I got like 2 Sparks, I could Harmony away the Lobby, but failing that, I think I'm just going to rigging it up and be sad. Dag should be Airblades? Yeah, something should be Airblades. Something should definitely be Airblades. The Dag is nice because there's a few different things you can do with it. You can get really big hand size with it against like Thule and stuff like that. You can get infinite cataloger against like PD, the decks that are running loads of 1-pointers, stuff like that. There is reasons to like Dag, but there should be an Airblades. There's just too many bites in this world. I think I just have to hit Nuka, which is sad that she goes away. I found Spark, so I can get my rig together. Let's open with Spark, so I don't accidentally draw my Orca. Now, if I'm rigging up Lobby, I go down to a really low credit total, which is super annoying. But I do have to rigging up Lobby at some point. I could like Nuka gain credit, but it's so bad. I could. I really don't want to go down to 1 credit. Rigging up Lobby, take a credit, and then just like next turn Nuka and try and find another creative, or Strike Fund is probably not that bad. They're not developing anything quickly, so just playing is fine. I get to charge the Lobby, and I get to take a credit. It's fine, okay? It's not great, it's fine. If they develop a threat now, okay, they also saw my whole deck, but if they develop a threat now, we are not well situated to deal with it, but we do have overclocks and stuff in the deck, so we can figure it out. If it's just like jam advance, for instance. Disgusting money. How do they have 20 credits, man? They have not done anything and they have 20 credits. So this is probably big splat. I don't think I need to worry too much about server 2. Interesting. I think it just has to be credit Ghost Tongue. Hitting Harmony. Then I get to discard 2, which can be... Don't think I need a Biobands here. I don't really need Cataloger either. I do want Pinhole, I do want Strike Fund. I don't really need the Harmony, because I have another Harmony in the deck. So this is risky, but it's fine. Game Dragon will be useful. I assume that this has big ice. Damage, Magnet, Heart. Yeah, I mean, the hearts... Like, you get the hearts back later. It's just fine. Okay, Biobands is probably not that useful right now. It's okay. But the other stuff is good. The catalog is not really what I need, but... Yeah, I don't know what this is, and I don't know if I should care. Could be bite even. How many such a bad card for real, for real? I mean, yeah. It's better when it costs 1, but it's not still not great. I'm not going to contest that. Let's see what Strike Fund gets us, because this is definitely getting played. Okay. Could Nuka, but that puts me up to too many cards. And discarding is still going to be annoying. I could draw, and then just play cards. Maybe this is like Regenesis and they're just waiting to find a 3-pointer because their hand was pretty clean before. If they click for a credit or something here, then we can assume like we know basically what's going on. Okay, not sure what's going on. I think I'm okay with nuking here. I could draw first with Stone Ship, but I might save that. Okay, well, this is all annoying. Cataloger Credit Creative. That puts me to 5 cards with Enican. And then I can just discard something, maybe the Game Dragon. Is the Game Dragon more urgent than the Cataloger? Probably is. Game Dragon can live on Orca, I guess. Do I need Hippocampic? No, I can't. I can't really use Hippocampic. We don't need it. We're gonna... Hippocampic is a crutch. We don't need it. You're never going to pinhole this game. I don't know if that's true. I think I could pinhole this game. If there's like an Anoetic, it's my only way around Anoetic. You don't need to credit? Yeah, but I have nothing else to do. I'm not going to draw. I don't need to credit, but like it's the only action I have that does anything. Being able to creative up to 5 from 0 is super nice. Burner is for Anoetic? That's true. I've already played a burner, but there will come a time when that is extremely important. I still don't care about this. I think if they score out a 3-pointer, I just tank it. Like, it's all good. Unless it hits this Harmony. So maybe it's worth playing this Harmony sooner rather than later. Because if next turn I could lose this game exactly the same way that I lost in the cut. Which is just like the first 2 damage I take is a Fuji. And that happens to hit my last heart, and that's it. So actually, I might just like ritual and then like play some harmony cards. Ritual first, so I don't draw the harmony that I shuffle in with harmony. Do I contest? Nah, I don't care. I mean, overlocks make it a bit juicier to contest. I will harmony, for one. To shuffle in the harmony so it doesn't get lost to damage. Definitely Sure Gamble, definitely Creative Commission, definitely Burner. And the other one's a flex slot that can probably go to Strike Fund? Or maybe Hippocampic. Low-key, it's... rigging up is also maybe money because it's Cataloger. Sure, I can grab another rigging up. There are only 2 rigging ups in the deck and I've played both of them. Let's run R&D. Time to get a lobby counter so I can start contesting if I want to. And I'm going to do it without... I'm going to overdraw this spark, and then I'm going to last click creative. So I'm okay with just running without the overclocks to hold it back. And I'll jack out if they res the outermost here, and it's like anything decent. I have 2 touchstone credits here as well. This could be a regen push. I feel like this is so late if it's a regen push, no? Like this card's been sitting here a while. Maybe that's not right. I guess I don't go to Threat 4 if I run Archives, so maybe I should run Archives. Anemone? Okay, sure. No, nothing here is too bad except for overclocks are kind of annoying. Cataloger, I can just use the next Harmony. I'm glad that I played my Harmony. I lose a Creative and a Spark. Spark is fine, Creative is annoying. I do break it, I think. We get a Lobby charge, which is nice. And then I will jack out because I don't want more nonsense. Now, if I overclock Archives here, I can die to double Fuji. If I just run Archives here, I basically can't die. I could hit like Cloud Eater. I would be able to break it, but I would have to take some damage. I think I'm supposed to play around Regenesis. So this is risky, and this is probably not a great turn. I could have played this better. That's fine. They trashed a card from hand. I assume that they still have an ice, but this could tell us a lot if they can't swap here. Surviving double Fuji is hard here. I mean, I just do, right? Oh no, they have a measured. Yeah, they have a measured in hand actually. So I just never survived double Fuji. Yeah, if it's double Fuji, I think we're pretty cooked. Is there anything I can do if it's double Fuji? Not really. It's nothing. It's vapor. It's ether. What was their Melius flip? R&D. Okay, so it was just that. That's totally fine. I lose overclock and pinhole. No biggie. Don't care. Okay, now I get to money out. Let's see what the straws. I could run R&D for more card draw. I could run Spin Doctor to force a pop. It would just be a Nuka charge, but a Nuka charge is really not nothing. It does cost me some money to break Anemone if I care to do that, which I do. And I don't really get too much else out of it. I've also got the Stone Ship, which is probably going to be a draw. Let's run Spin Dark. Having to like spend that click at a more awkward time is going to be annoying. And I definitely don't need another Anycam. Hoping for a big deal win? Well, I mean, it doesn't win right now. Like, obviously, it's something to think about, but I only really need to respect big deal if there's something face down in Archives. Or, you know, they somehow get another point, right? Wow, they're very concerned about R&D. Well, let's run it and see why they are concerned. If they res, I'm happy to jack out and just let Nuka be charged. I'll bounce. Do I care about bite in server 2? If it's big splat, which it is big splat, is there a seamless? I don't think there's a seamless, so I still don't care about this. So I'm going to Nuka, and I'm going to play some cards. I didn't get my value, my touchstone or my Anakin value, but that's probably fine. I'm going to use this Harmony first with Mystics to make sure that I don't lose it to damage. Look at me being responsible. I think you still live on the Orca because I'm still expecting things like Lion's Mane. And we're going to put back Harmony. We're going to put back Creative. We actually don't have a Sure Gamble to put back, so this kind of stinks, but we're going to put back Overclock. And we can put back maybe Strike Fund is just money. And then Pinhole could still be useful, but it's not that good. I'd rather just more money. I don't have more money as an option, so I guess Ritual is draw. Hippocampic will be useful. Let's overclock server 2 and just see what it is. I'm very curious as to what it is. It probably is a bite. I have a stone ship. I could Nuka. Nuka overclock. That's fine. This is meaningfully expensive for them. Could be a Charlotte, but I don't think so. Now, I did draw the Harmony off the Nuka, meaning that if it's a bite, it's a very good chance it hits Harmony. So I've drawn like 6 Harmonies. You don't really want to draw Harmony. You kind of want all of them to sit at the end of the deck. That's not happened for me. Tattoo, that's fine. So we're thinking this might be like a big sentry, like a Lion's Mane that's not worth resing because of Orca. Let's see the bite. It's a Regenesis, that's good. That gives me Fencer money, it gives me Mystic money, it gives me a low recharge, which is useful. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then last click, I get to delightfully Creative Commission and overdraw this Ghost Tongue. Okay, that went really well for me. 1 Regenesis down. 2 more to go. Depending on how many cards they play this turn, like if they play 2 more cards, it could be a burner angle. Install Advance has to be Charlotte or an Agenda. Install advance is probably Charlotte. I think this still lives on Orca. I could gamble first. I'd love to get rid of this Harmony. If this is a 3-pointer, I actually don't think I care. I think it's really bad for them to score a 3-pointer here as long as I play my Harmony. Let's play Harmony first, just to make sure nothing goes too wrong, because it can get back Harmony. Maybe I should play Gamble. Going to Fuji into double measured? Yeah, that's fine if that's the case. Like, I don't think that can kill me. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to not lose ever. I'm going to Sure Gamble, Harmony, to put back Gamble, Overclock, Creative Commission, Strike Fund, and maybe Nuka? I'm going to assume that this is a Charlotte and it's actually a bait. And if it's not really not that big of a deal. Draw. Install the cataloger. We have not found the... I just don't care about that server. I don't think it does anything. I don't want to lose this to damage. I don't want to lose burners to damage either, but it's less of a big deal. Yeah. I don't believe them. I'm way too zoomed out for a good stream. It is Charlotte, which is good and bad. Because if it was a 5-3, I think it's like not that useful to them. But a Charlotte obviously is useful because they can get to big deal money, meaning I need to constantly be carrying back archives. Also, it's draw, which makes burner a bit harder to line up. They have nothing discarded. And no threat presented aside from Charlotte. So let's draw. I could overclock the Charlotte. There's only, like, they would just replace it. It really doesn't do as much as I would like it to. I could burner. And I think I do burner. Let's just make sure that their options are not too good. I get to charge something up. It can be the lobby. Oh, they get to recur. They actually guessed HQ. That's pretty good. And they want to add Lacosta. That's fine. Big deal and measured to the bottom sounds really nice. I don't really care about measured all that much. Big deal is a bit more annoying. I think. Because like Tattoo Bowler, these swaps are kind of money for them and taxing my lobby counters and costing me money. I don't know that I care about measured, man. It's not even online. It's literally not online. It's actually a tomorrow problem. Big deal's definitely going to the bottom. Tattoo bowler. Fine, I'll put measure to the bottom. Do I want to catalog this turn? Not really, I don't care. It's not a bad turn to catalog, I guess. Do I want to catalog with Overclock, or do I want to just get rid of this Charlotte? Because they didn't seem to have another Charlotte in hand. I saw half their hand. And they did add a Lacosta back. Okay, I think I got to close this out eventually. So I'm going to Overclock R&D and just see if they have an agenda on top. I charge this once. I'm just playing this to get it out of hand a little bit. Did I care about measured? I guess I do, because if I find a 3-pointer here, I take 2. I might need a pop chip so I don't die to double measured. I guess that's something. That's annoying. Nothing. Well, I've already got a Lacosta in hand. I don't want them to have all this money. I don't want them to have the spin doctor. How is this always my life? I've burned them twice and I've catalogued them. I haven't seen a single point. Spoctor's annoying. Hansei Review's disaster. Hedge fund is bad. Lacosta is fine. And then I will just gain money, I guess. Oh, goodness grief. Now, double iced is one face down. I'm curious as to what it is, but I don't think it's an agenda. They're not even installing either of their Lacostas. I assume that's the next thing to go in. Yeah, Lacosta in there. Okay, so I know the top 2 still, because they've only drawn 2 cards, and the top 2 are Hansei and Spin Doctor. See, as far as I know, they have no agendas, and this game is just going to go on forever. Hopefully I can eventually just find 2 agendas with Cataloger. Let's Ritual first. I'm going to run R&D because I need Lobby counters. And then just go into Strike Fund Creative for loads of money. Will I ever trash stuff? I think I still want to keep Penso around. It could be a while before I trash stuff, though. I don't want to have to pay 1 per turn. It could go on a long time. Obviously, Lacosta is like a good sink for it, but I don't have immediate plans to run this Lacosta. And they have another one, so it's not like I super value trashing it. Okay, so now 4 cards on R&D are fresh. They've drawn the Spin, they've drawn the Hansei. Likely that they install Spin, or they might even jam and jam their Spin, which would not be a crazy play. But they kind of need more money. They want to shuffle the deck because they've put some really good cards on the bottom of it. Spin. Draw. Okay, so it's drawn 2 unknowns into hand, which stinks for me. But neither of them can be a big deal or measured response. Damn, going high on R&D, hey? Hedge fund, not Hansei review. Okay. The shape of you slowly forming. You'd think Burner would discourage this, but it does not at all. I think you still live here. We're going to start with running you. I'd like to spend this Mystic. I still have 2 gambles in the deck. I have 3 gambles in the deck. I should try and find one. I don't care that much about the R&D run this turn. I do care about the R&D run this turn. Because I want lobby counters. But I'm not going to make it successful unless I have to. Like, I don't know what would cause me to have to. Yeah, I'm just going to bounce. Whew. Now those are some credits. Okay, so now there's 4 cards in hand that I don't know anything about. Oh yeah, if only they had Ezan, they could sink like 3 clicks into making me run into Boto instead. Now that would be terrifying. Granted, Ezan would mean I would have a Code Gate to farm, which I would be completely fine with, but think about it. How many pinholes are gone? All the pinholes are gone. And I have no way to get them back because I've spent all the harmonies. Harmony machine finished. So we're done with pinhole. Pinhole's a crutch. Just like most things. Just like most runner tools. Yeah, according to double philosophy. Well, when you think about it, if it's a good matchup for pinhole threading, you have 4 pinholes. Okay? It's not a good matchup for pinhole threading, so I only have 1 pinhole. Seems reasonable to me. Um, Now is it big deal time? It's giga big deal time. Like that's what they're doing. They've only had a couple of draws to find it because they've only recently shuffled the Spin Doctor, which can shuffle their deck, but we still play around it. So we still run archives. I could burner. Burner's quite fun. But maybe I save burner until I do an R&D run, and this turn I just chill. Burner, I barely know her. Very good. Turn 1 pinhole, turn 10 pinhole though. I mean, yeah, if you're playing with 4 pinholes, it's going to take a long time. But you don't need turn 1 pinholes. Come on. Alco is not real. I can't die here. They can take it back to hand. That doesn't bother me at all. That taxed me nothing. I don't feel the need to do too much. I definitely am going to draw. I'm going to save that. I'm going to run R&D. Just to get my lobby counter that I so love. And I want the Mystic credit from next turn. Have I played an event this turn yet? I also have another Sure Gamble somewhere. Let's make sure I get my touchstone credit. 43 credits. How often do you see runners on 43 credits in today's day and age? And like, how often do you go this late into melee SU gaming and like feel like you're winning? See, why do we put this measured response on the bottom of the deck? If the tattoo was on the bottom of the deck, this would be so much easier. Okay, with all these cards in hand, they're probably feeling pressure to make a play of some kind. I need like one more cataloger counter so I have enough for the rest of the game. They are sad to not have Anoetic yet. That's true, actually. I forgot about Anoetic. And there's none in the bin either. They just haven't drawn it. They've been drawing all their big deals and their measured responses. Against JP, you usually need to score 3 out of the remote. Oof. I mean, that makes the deck sound a lot worse than I think it is. But yeah, you might be right. It may just be like install advance of Fuji, and like that's your turn. Or I guess it's just install advance because it's a low coster. Okay, so install means they've got Anoetic, and if they advance here, it means they're trying to advance out a 3-pointer, which actually we have to stop. Credit. So what is it? Do I have to care? If I overclock R&D, I spend 3 counters, I gain 2 counters. But I have to charge a cataloger. So I spend 3 counters, I gain 1 counter. So I guess Globy goes to 2 counters. And this cataloger gets 1. If I run archives, my HP is running kind of low, hey? If I run archives, I can make sure that I don't get any silly regenesis stuff. If I run archives after R&D, it might be even better. These could still, they could still be anemones around somewhere. Is this really a regenesis push? Like, with Anoetic, it totally could be. This is an interesting game. I definitely have to play around regenesis push, so just running archives first makes some sense. So let's just see what they res over here. If they fire anemones, it puts them down a little bit cards in hand, which could be useful. Okay, so they get a proc. Regenesis is delightful because it gives me a mystic credit and it charges up my lobby. And what did they do? They added a face down, so they tried to set up a regenesis by leaving a 3-pointer in, and the top card was a regenesis that came off the top. This is much easier to track in person because people are really bad at hiding their face downs with melee. So a lot of players just like make it way too obvious which card, and like they don't reorder the face down cards. Your face down cards when you're playing Melius should always be in an ambiguous order, but mechanically people don't treat it like that. So this would be a game that would be easier to play in person because I just watch the cards that are face down. So there's a 3-pointer in hand now. If I burn a HQ, is there anything that hurts me in this world? Well, there's nothing that really I want unless I like hit 2 3-pointers. I could run R&D and just catalog and see if I can find 5 points. But maybe that's overplaying my hand and there's simply no such urgency. So I'm going to run R&D. I'm sure gamble. Run R&D to get my lobby counter. I'm going to take credit. You don't scare me. Now, if this is a 3-pointer, which would be this is not at all my read, but if it is a 3-pointer, then I would be very annoying. It's a regenesis for 1, so now I need to play around big deal full stop. That's fine. I can play around big deal full stop because I have burners and stuff. Burners and R&D luck. So I get to charge up my lobby. And they've got a discard down, and it's going to be R&D, burner HQ, gaming. I think this should be basically a 1 situation here. Math doesn't get better with lobby, so I'm just going to keep this on Orca for the credits on lines, man. It shouldn't matter. I'm not going to use my overclocks because they're kind of HP, and I have loads of credits. Running R&D. Charges cataloger. They've lost all their ice. Or they consider the fact that this is a barrier more useful than the ice they could swap it to. Either or doesn't bother me too much. Fully break. Charges Lobby. Cataloger, send a message on top, please. Bite doesn't do anything, so I'm just going to do Charlotte, Hansei, Bite, Sam. Then it's going to be Burner. Now, if the two cards I don't hit here are like a 3-pointer and a big deal, you know, you take some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some, right? Breaking lines mean for 2. That's why we're playing the deck. I would like to add a Sisyphus protocol to the top of R&D and a Bite to the bottom of R&D. And folks, they tell you need deep dive in the deck. You do not need deep dive in the deck. You need to cataloger, Dag, your cataloger, cataloger. And that's how you win with 4 unique accesses, folks. Do not listen to people telling you you need multi-access. You don't. You need 4 unique accesses. You need 4 unique accesses and a dream. And there you go. That was a lot of fun. Okay. Thank you, Janice. Thank you. How does he do it? Yeah, it's this is the magic touch. And you can see like it's so fun to play control decks because you just get to know what they're doing. And you have to like you get to pick and choose what parts of the game you're gonna care about today. I love this Vig. This Vig is so fun. Not a single code gate rezzed, and we still had like 5 lobby counters at the end of the game. That's fun. And I always say you can DIY deep dive with Burner and Cataloger, and no one believes me. Yeah, hopefully that's a good showcase of why the deck is actually not bad. Yeah, obviously it's Padma. Padma's a meme, right? But beating Meleus or like having a good matchup into Meleus is kind of all that matters in this world. So if you can do that, you can do anything. Now that was a lot of Padma. Do you guys want to see more Padma, or do you want me to build a deck? Because I've been thinking about building some more decks. The meta is undercooked and needs more input. What do people think? Oh, it's a warm day today in the UK. It's not even that sunny. It's just like balmy as. More Padma. I could play one. I could play another Padma. I could play another Padma. One more for the fans. Who was that player that I was up against? I haven't seen them before, but they were quite strong. Lee Strad. I'm not sure if I've played against Lee Strad before. The name doesn't ring a bell. Um, which is unusual because I feel like I've played a lot of JNet, so I've played against most good players. Is there any like Netrunner news? What other decks have been winning Mega Cities? Because Mega Cities should be going on all over the world, right? Deck lists of the week. Deck list of the week is Big Deal Nuvang running Shackleton Grid. Okay. Well, I guess you can really do whatever you want in this world, hey? Thunderbolt Armaments. Interesting. I think this is going to be a good matchup. Because one of these decks is like a meme ID, and one of them is a meme ID that's actually good. Question, why does Thunderbolt get this disrespectful, just like PNG-ass corner? And I've got like these delightful, true-to-life card smooth edges. This is not like technically the opening hand you want. You want like your Ghost Tongues, Mystics, and other stuff, but it's too good. If you see these cards, you should just keep them. One, two, three. I don't know what the rest of my turn is, to be honest. I could buy her to just a draw two. Could do this and then buy her. Like, it's not very good. Do I still want this ring? I still kind of do want all these cards. I'm just going to gain a credit on turn one. It seems impossibly bad. Whatever. We'll just do it. Look, okay. If I had anything to install, but I just don't want to rip this buyer band to draw two and then blank on archives. Like that's not good enough. They are drawing last, which is good. Good for us, because it means that if they had a threat here, they couldn't jam it. Ooh, mwah. This is why we play the deck. That is a seriously good draw. I want to play all these cards, so I will. I'm going to rigging up this Anycam. I'm going to spark before installing Ghost Tongue, because I do not want the Ghost Tongue to hit the spark. Really nice. Okay, they're pushing. Now, HP doesn't have many things that can destroy programs, but Thunderbolts actually might import things like hammers, which also can't destroy my programs, but they may, you know, I don't know what they're up to be honest. Oh, this is not great. Offensive, I guess? Okay, they've scored out a lightning lab. I do not think that I care. This is just a bunch of nonsense. Things have really gone downhill from that one ritual that we played. This is definitely a Daig matchup. I like Dag. I do not like Harmony. Oh, I got to discard 2. I do not like Dag anymore. Okay, Spark Waiting Room because I don't want to run to Sentries. You. Burner is free and it's kind of good pressure, to be honest. If it's a barrier, I can charge the lobby with Stone Chip. I just doubt that they've put... Okay, no, it's all Sentries. This deck only runs Sentries. That's like fine. Like, my hand doesn't matter too much. I can trash Fencer to land this burner. I think it's probably worth it. Bunch of nonsense here. I don't think Realloc does anything. Seamless does things though, so I'm going to put that on the bottom of R&D, and I'm going to put Stegodon on top of R&D. Then I'm going to remove tag, install Mystic for money. Pinhole could be good here, but I don't think they can res that much stuff, so I'm not too concerned about that either. 1, 2... Holy... I need to draw better. This is not good. Do I just nuke her again? Or am I doing some nonsense? Okay, rigging up Cataloger. I'm just going to draw and overdraw Nuka, Orca, and Ghost Tongue. Or Orca and Anycam, I don't think it matters too much. And now if I just spam draw, I'll eventually find my Spark. And I can Harmony Spark. Vovo. I guess for a working prototype. I think I might Stone Ship to draw first. Gamble is nice for this Mystic. Harmony Creative. To go back, Harmony, Gamble, Overclock, Orca, Creative Commission. And then I could Spark here, or I could just Creative and then Spark next turn. Let's grab a counter on Lobby, just in case there's a bunch of barriers for some reason. Barnutria. I would like to take a net damage from this, because my hand is not that good. So I'm going to 2 to break any number set between this one. And you can do a net damage, prevent the tag. Do I want a cataloger or do I want... Oh, catalog. I guess you can draw I don't really care to go and pick up this Stegodon, so you can just draw it. I don't want you to draw Hakal, but you kind of can't afford it either. And it cost me 3 to break, and a counter though, so that kind of matters. Tithe is so cheap for you. I don't want you to draw Tithe. Refuge Campaign is a strange thing to put in your deck. Maybe it's a Flood deck, but that seems unlikely too. I'm going to say that Stegodon's actually your worst draw, because I can challenge whatever you're doing. So I don't want you to draw Tithe. I don't want you to draw Refuge. You can draw these 2 cards because you can't afford them. I can play Overclock into your server one. Technically, I died at Urtica Cypher. So I could nuke her first, or I could just draw first. But let's just assume it's not Urtica Cypher. Not everything can be Urtica Cypher. Okay, it can be Cloud Eater, which is a pain. It's really a 7 strength Cloud Eater. I will charge this Nuka maybe. I could let him trash a card. Then I need to go and find another Harmony and a Spark. There's 1 more Spark left. And there's 2 more Harmonies left. Taking 2 tags is kind of annoying, but maybe it's fine. Given that they're on Phonutria, they probably are on some kind of destruction. But let's just take 2 tags. And then it's going to cost me 4 to fully break. And so I guess it's not going to get cheaper, so whatever. And then I will just draw so I don't know whether that would prevent me from dying. I guess they might be on end of the line, in which case Nuka drawing is best. Okay, and I found Harmony Sparks. If they do trash something like Orca, and they just have to get DRS, so they don't actually get tempo. Can we get the text on the Lightning Lab? Nah, you guys don't know what Lightning Lab does? I guess that one hasn't been NRO implemented yet because this is Rebellion Without. This is a baffling card. This is so bad. It kind of cooked me here because I've got 17 credits worth of unexpected res, but even that. Okay, it's just triple click. Working prototype. That's fine. I'm not really sure what I want to do here. I'd like to double remove tag, so I might just hit Nuka. It's not that big of a deal if I play this Harmony AR. So if I play this Hippocampic, because if it hits Spark, it draws me. If it hits Harmony, it's fine, I have more Harmonies. If it's Game Dragon's not that necessary. So let's see what this does. Okay, and then I can just remove tag, which means I'd like to draw. And then next turn I could use like Mystic to go and find my Sure Gamble or something like that. Okay, that's probably Stegodon, which we gave them. And I don't really care if they use Stegodon, like there's no text on any of these that actually matters, so they can screw out Stegodon and just waste their own time. I don't know what the server 3 is. Okay, they care about their credits for some reason. I guess so that if I run here, they can afford to raise both of them. Let's ritual. Oh, the big gamble. And it's going to be just like Touchstone Game Dragon. Yep. Stego, I don't care. Let's gamble first. If I strike fun, then I can run through this phony tree without taking damage. Let's check what the server 3 is, because I really have no idea what's going on over here, and I'd like to know. Do I care about what's going on server 2? Eh. I'd rather get my counters. I'll get counters here and here. I'm just going to jack out. I don't really... I could catalog. Spin Doctor, Meleus. Okay, I don't think they're going to draw next turn. So I'm just going to put Hedge Fund on top for them. These Spin Doctors on the bottoms. And then I can just go and get it next turn. Two installs. And a Hedge Fund. Okay. Now, I don't know what those could be. So I will go check. I could check R&D first. To get a bunch of counters. Well, they're not scoring 4 points on me, so I don't care too much either. I could charge this lobby, but there's sentries over here, and there's can't be multiple barriers, so let's just maybe juice a cataloger. Then there's two Spin Doctors on top. Oh, yeah, the Refuge campaign. I don't know what's in their hand, to be honest. I don't know if I want to trash this. I don't really care about their credit totals or anything like that, so I'm just not going to. What you got for me? There's Seamlesses in here, so maybe those are for lightning labs more likely. Maybe there's a Meleus, which would be good. I guess they could multi-res and into the working prototype would be quite a good play. But this is likely a Spin Doctor. Vovo, Spin, put the Nuka on top is pretty good. Okay, but they've kind of shown me that this is not a threat then, so it's fine that they can get this working money. And they haven't developed Spin Doctor. So if I run R&D, and we're just going to make my hand as big as possible here. Counter over here, maybe. Probably not needed. Maybe that better on the Spin Doctor Hendrick Lightning Lab. Okay, seamless launch. Nope. 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 Yep. Done. They don't have any actions they can take, I don't believe. So I'm just going to win. Okay, a little bit more of a mid-rangey game where I didn't have to like completely doom rig them, but you can see I still kind of did. Lightning Lab into 17 credits worth of res is fun, but against this deck, not especially game winning because none of those subs are going to fire. It's just going to be the tags from. But like, it's not. So it's something. It's something. I don't think this is going to hold down the fort very well, unfortunately, into Padma. Sweet as. What's the time? 3:30. Or 3:21. I have a coaching session at 5, so I can do another bit of streaming. Like I'm in no rush. The coaching has been going well. My students have been pretty happy. It's been fun too. It can be hard, like when you've just kind of like done a whole weekend of like Netrunner tournaments when you still got more coaching to do. So it's like more Netrunner, but then you start talking about Netrunner and you kind of run away with it. Like it is fun to talk about it. So once I'm actually in the lesson, I'm really apprehensive at all. It's been a good time. And if anyone of you, if any of viewers, VOD or live viewers, want to receive Netrunner coaching, just DM me on Discord and we can talk about it. Let's talk about deck building because I've got some ideas that have been sent to me. Someone's DM me on Discord. One moment. Someone asking about the Padma list and how Cataloger works in it. It's an interesting question. Because like until you understand the nuances of specifically this archetype of deck, it doesn't really make much sense that this would be your win condition. But you know, in the context of really slow grinding Padma decks, it actually makes a lot of sense, I think. Obviously, you can do other things. You could run twinning, but it would actually be really hard. Hello, JP Knox. Yeah, just talking about your cataloger question. It's a very interesting question because it is pretty unusual that cataloger be your like your win condition, your multi-access. But if you go back, I don't know if I'm going to play another Padma game, but if you go back to the beginning of this VOD, which I believe you can do on YouTube because of how they save it, I played 2 games. One of them was against a melee SU, and one of them was against a Thunderbolt. specifically the melee SU deck. That deck is very good, and that player was very strong. And you can see how I can take my time constructing this kind of like enormous program, Game Dragon, massive credits from all my events setup, and then very slowly just like know what's on top of the deck. And as long as I know what's on top of the deck, I can't really lose because I can afford to run anything. And with this knowledge, I can use strategic runs. And then if there's any agendas, I can eventually just get them. Specifically in the late game, very late game, when I can afford to do anything that I want. Burner, let me open up the deck real quick. The combination of Burner and Cataloger means like click 1, Catalog, see top 4. Click 2, Burner, see 3 in hand. So you've seen 8 cards, and you can spend clicks to access them. So Catalog, Burner, then just grab whatever you saw during that time. And if you didn't see anything, it's okay. You probably weren't going to lose that turn anyway because they don't have any agendas in hand or on top of the deck. So yeah, it's the art of not doing stuff is this Catalog deck. It's specifically like, in terms of cards that I actually accessed, I think the Melee SU game ended without me touching any cards except for the 4 agendas that I wanted to steal. Those were the entirety of my accesses, which is pretty sweet. Man, no one cares about this this Padma list. I guess I've posted it before, so it's kind of cheeky to expect interest in it again. It's not necessarily our win con, but I think you mentioned it's to deny their win con. I'm afraid to run. It's an important card. You can't tutor it just once. Yeah, so you can't tutor it. You don't need to. When it eventually shows up, you'll eventually install it, and that's when you start controlling the top of the deck. Before that, you can't make successful runs on R&D until you're pretty much fully set up and have lots of spare money anyway. So the main way that you're denying their win con is like having so much money that then they're too afraid to put agendas into their remote server because you'll just run it and take them. And then once the game drags out real long because you're doing that, you can take advantage of it. Let me see if I can bring up my own VOD as I'm streaming, and I can show you the game that we played earlier. Because I didn't save it. I didn't save the replay, but it will be really good for demonstrating. And like another thing about the deck is that it has an insane amount of draw in it. So you will draw the Cataloger because you will draw your whole deck very quickly. Because you will draw your whole deck. Here I am. It's going to be very low quality because I am streaming. My Wi-Fi is only so good. Oh my, there I am. Yeah, I will say this is like not a deck like it's a fun and unique deck that's cool to show to beginners, but it's not actually a good beginner deck for beginners to play. So you can see, I'll skip through this. They have to ice R&D early, so they are not developing their win con. They're kind of just sitting around playing econ cards and icing R&D. Meanwhile, I'm slowly developing my board state. I get the spark for the Orca, but I don't get the spark for the Lobi, so I have to rigging up Lobi, which is annoying, but doesn't slow me down too much in the long term. Here, they start developing their remote server, but they can't put agendas in here yet because we have this rig, and we could just overclock it and just take anything out of it. So they build up their remote server, they put an upgrade in it, and they start advancing things out while we continue to set up. And we're using R&D just for pokes so that we can charge up our Lobi Somu, not because we actually care about these accesses. They actually do score out a 3-pointer. We do not care because we're planning on controlling everything from here on. So them just putting a bunch of money and time into scoring out 3 points, that's not winning them the game. The point of us is that we are going to very carefully prevent them from winning, like actually scoring the 7th point. Every point up to that, like we don't really care too much. So they install advance over here. We get to choose what we do about that. I think I decide that this is not important. No, I overclock it, and I think what happens here? I can't even remember. Yeah, I take the Regenesis because I am scared about the Regenesis, so I do not want them to score that. I'm not pressuring Central still. I'm kind of letting them bum around. They put a Charlotte down. Maybe I'll address that later. I actually don't. I don't ever get rid of this Charlotte because it's not winning them the game. I make some tactical runs on R&D just to keep their credit totals reasonable and to see what's on top of the deck. I've got the cataloger down now, so you can see how I'm just like making sure this game goes a really long time. Their credit total's going up. At some point in this game, I bottom important cards like Big Deal with Burner to make sure that they really just cannot win for the life of them. They start scrambling. They start putting new cards into server 2, into their big remote server. But because I know that what they're trying to do is push... what do I do here? Oh, then I win. Okay, hard to show the nuances. I recommend just watching the VOD. But yeah, it's just a matter of like, I always know exactly what they're doing. Nothing can escape my field of view because I get to see the top of the deck with the cataloger. I get to see what's in their hand with Burner. And if anything unexpected happens, I also have the resources to run their remote. And this deck is reliant on like getting the Genesis scored for the most part. Yeah, it is a really tough deck to actually pilot well because you need to have an intimate understanding of exactly what your opponent is capable of doing. And that's just not realistic unless you know all the stuff that people can do in the meta. So it's not really a new player's deck. It is a veteran situation. I do have great new player decks that are much more generically understandable and will be more fun more quickly. If you want to run and have a good time, my recommended deck of choice for just playing it and enjoying it is this Stealth Loo deck that you can just play, and it will just be fun. Actually, you can't even see that. You can't see that. I need to go to my published lists. How do I get there? The public profile, published deck lists. This one. That one is the most generically playable runner deck that I've put out recently. I think anyone can have a good time with that. Lucy says Rip Kit. Yeah. So Kit did a similar list. Kit's ability was to make the first piece of ice she touches each turn a code gate, which means that Lobosome you just don't need to think about it. Lobosome always works. So the Spark Lobi was just like a good breaker suite, and you didn't need to go through any extra steps. I believe people called this like Grug. Grug Kit because it was so easy. You would just play Spark to get your breaker out, and then I'm gonna run with it. Only 10 influence. That was quite good foresight, hey, because this ability is pretty sweet. But yeah, this was much easier because there was so much less to play around. I haven't read the original Grug write-up. Let me do that. Decklist with this card. The Grug brain. Oh, this is Cable Carnage's list. Collection of thoughts get on running gathered by a grug brain runner. Grug brain. There's lore here, holy. Yeah, this is using a slightly different suite. Engolo to make more things code gates. Also being a relatively efficient decoder. I don't know why Nonot was the one of choice. I guess it's just fine. Just like a and then one propeller, maybe for some tech. And then KGCB to make your Engolos full strength. Okay, I mean that is definitely not as good as the Lobby lists. In this poop deck list, Rising Tide, it's not better. Oh yeah, it is better. It is absolutely better. It's not as funny. But yeah, I might as well just publish like. I'll just publish poop deck 2. Yeah, Lobby. So yeah, pre-Lobby, I could imagine that being somewhat efficient. But yeah, Lobby kind of obviously mogs it. This list is the same, but it's got Rising Tides. And I think that's the only change. Publish. What should I call a slightly smooth, maybe smooth poop? Okay, now everyone can see smooth poop. If anyone wants to play this list but with Rising Tides and couldn't be bothered making that change themselves, that is now available to you. Lucy sent me the original grug. Nah, he couldn't do this today. Trick shot. Grug is here again. Short messages this time. Original message has most of what Grug wants to say. Fancy rock throw. The trick shot. Oh man, trick shot really made everything so much easier, hey? New best card. Grug, play as much as possible. Fancy rock throw, make Grug happy. Burner also good. Make Corpse sad. Yeah, so werewolf better than zebra. Trying out the orca rather than non-not. Test run. Used to return lost breakers. Compile works good. Yeah, we don't have an effect that like grabs. I mean, we have no one mentions scrounge. No one says scrounge to me. We don't have a good way to get programs back right now. Beta build should have grabbed from the bin. I think the world would be okay with that. Smoke was cool too. I actually played Netrunner when it started and then had 9 years break. Okay, well then maybe you'll like the stealth list. It doesn't have the recurring credit on the ID, but you yeah, if you trash every turn with Lou, it's basically a recurring credit. Yeah, you might enjoy that stealth list. It's actually a super fun deck to play. I like it a lot. Yeah, so no one mentioned Scrounge. I'm going to say what I'm thinking anyway. It's hard to get programs back, and I would really like if there was an effect like compile, but we just don't get that, I guess. At least the card cease play in our format. Lucio when no one has mentioned startup in 10 minutes. Age of Grug may be over. Age of Girls now. Has anyone like made girls really work in today's day and age? Not really, but I don't know why. Like it seems like it should be still fine. Just put this in lat. Anyway, one of my friends messaged me losing a Kiko makes it worse. Was the Kiko really the point of all this? Like this ID takes is not that flash. In my opinion. I guess it just like turns on Pretty Mary so trivially. Like it was a good deck. It turns on Mary from turn 1. Yeah, that's true. Going from having like needing 1 piece to 2 pieces is a lot of difference. This was without Devadatta drones, and Devadatta drones also is, a way to turn on Mary extremely easily. It seems like Devadatta drones Pretty Mary should win some games, but I guess that's really not how you win right now, I feel. That's not how I win right now. It's just like seeing 3 on R&D is not solving the problem that is like melee as you is going to kill you. Like Alco is going to blow you up. Nyashia? I don't even know what that card is, so it can't have been that good. Devadatta Mogs. Devadatta better. Anyway, one of my friends sent me a deck list that I think might be interesting to take a look at. Not as a full deck doctor, but just like, encouraging some creativity. What is it? It's in my wage workers chat. Okay, so this is what was presented to me. Oh, I should do this in Firefox. It is a corp deck. It is Epiphany. They say that NBN can't be played. It can be played. Epiphany is still good, and I don't know why no one is playing it at all, but it is really not that bad. We're doing embeddeds for blank 3-2s, because that's what NSG demand us do. We're doing post-truths. We're doing Stokes as a 3-2 with text, hopefully. And we're doing tomorrow's headline, obviously. And then we're also doing Let Them Dreams. Because, yeah. Does that seem right? No, we should be on 2 embeddings. 21 gender point seems wrong. But we can fix that in a sec. Then assets, we're doing cohorts. We're doing feds. We're doing magistrate, of course. We're doing spins, of course. We're doing powers. Two of those. We'll get in business as usual. I love the business as usual Vladislavov City Grid stuff. That makes me very happy. That was a great innovation that I wonder whether it was always better than the Hollow Man versions. Not clear to me, but probably 3 Vlad grids, yeah. Also, we are doing hedge funds, which maybe not, I'll figure out if that's right. And then 3 predictives. Okay. Doing hype machine. we're doing yeah, so Hype Machine being the kind of a weird one. It's really good with it's kind of really good with powers that be. Barry is Grubber, and I am not sure about this. Grubber has not been impressing me in pretty much any game. Doing 2 fly swatter, 2 white space. 2 fly swatter, 2 white space. Now you'd think that would be the faction that can run better code gates than this, but I guess that's not the case. And this list has 2 drafter and 2 Vasilia, which seems interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. There's no way that this post-truth dividend is worth it over just running like a better card. Like, I don't know, something. Surely there must be like a money asset that I wouldn't mind running. We're not doing any tag stuff. This is just scoring. But it's not a great scoring deck. Balanced coverage seems like a big part of the reason why this would all be worth it. It's not the extra 2-1 is good. No. It just seems like it's gonna get stolen. And if we just like having a 0 trash cost on something. Obviously it would be nice for our scoring totals, but I don't know. Surely there must be something better. Like balance coverage? Whatever. Or maybe Vagalith. 1 load bearing Vagalith will fix all our money problems. And we'll call this Hobbs Epiphany. How long till I coach? An hour and a bit. That's fine. We keep going. Stop Audrey. What, with the agenda? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. If I find myself in a spot where 2-1 would win me the game, I will consider adding back the extra point. I don't know how fast we score out. Oh, we'll see. No, it's not good. I'm sorry. You're not getting away that easily. Not forgiven. Okay, so this hand doesn't do anything. But also doesn't have nonsense agendas in it. But it really doesn't do much. Maybe just playing 2 powers and a federal is like, fine. Whatever. Let's just keep it. Okay. We can make this work. Now, Dewi, you should be running cards in Dewi that make running good. But you don't want to play them until you've set up your MU, which is going to be a big ask. BAU. I want to draw Cohort and the Ice, I think. I've done this the wrong way around, but whatever. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that because that seems to be the other way around than Cataloger did it. Unless I'm completely losing my marbles, which is, you know, not entirely impossible. Okay, more setup. Do I want to trash these? Maybe. Let's cohort first. I don't really know what the ordering is correct on these. I don't need the second powers. Look at the top three, yeah. Basilia, White Space, Grubber. White Space is good, Grubber is bad. Grubber can stay on top. Next onto R&D. So I want this at the bottom. Grubber at the bottom. Then these two. Yeah. Then we can hedge fund. Maybe we can start scoring soon. If we do agendas, which we have not done. Now we're not on crypto crashes. If only I had more agendas. I don't want the 2-1. The 2-1 is not useful here. But a 3-2 or a crypto crash would be really nice. A crypto crash would be like game ending. No, Daewee. No, you missed your trigger. Oh god. I want to turn one face up on my grid, but now I want to draw. Because they didn't trash, so I didn't get my damned counter. I wish I had just had like a ping or something rather than this grubber so I can check it on HQ, but now this Vasily is going to have to go on HQ instead. Let's see what Federal gets me first. Drafter, Magistrate, Vlad. All good cards. I'd put a Magistrate behind a Drafter. Sounds pretty powerful. So trash a card and gain 2. Yeah, I will do that. I don't want this grubber. It's no good. It can be... like that. The next turn I can just score out this Let Them Dream with the Magistrate proc and a Powers proc, and that should be pretty good. They're going to have a lot of money and this fencer soon, but they really can't break anything. Which is why gear check is so useful in these kinds of decks, where you don't actually need real ice for a lot of them, like rubber. Because the check is like, do you have the card that breaks it? It's not, can like, are you going to run through this multiple times? Because at the end of the day, Propeller still breaks Grubber for 2. They didn't get their Dairy Proc again, so they are now emptying their MU. I assume they're going to find like a Revolver or something. But this means you don't get Dairy, so maybe running like anywhere else and then doing this would have been better. They're, instead of gaining 4 credits, installing Muse from the stack. I think that is leaning way too hard into Dairy World. That stowaway does not give you money either. This is just to fill up your MU. Does flip Dairy though, which is a credit, but man, tough credit. And then a card. 2 Dairy blocks. Delightful. Anyway. I'm going to turn this face up over here. I'm going to Quick Epiphany. BAU Spin Doctor Grubber. Spin Doctor Server 7 maybe. And then I can like res this, install a Let Them Dream over here in server 1. And then BAU. Oh, this doesn't work. Whoops. Because I've got this only does even numbers. Yeah, no, that's my bad. That's my bad. I guess I just predicted for 3 cards. Okay, misplay. Hopefully it won't be too costly of a mistake. Maybe this white space just holds. Unlikely, but maybe. Okay. I guess that's showing my epiphany unfamiliarity. I, like many other people, have not been playing it as much as it deserves to be played. And by deserves, it means like it's good. Not that it's fun. It's not that unfun to play. It's pretty tough to play against, unfortunately, for a lot of people. Working pretty hard to get the dairy proc here, but does get it. It's been 4 trashing? Yeah, you have to because it's got 2 on it. Ah, it's so silly of me. But it makes me wish that like even more 3-2s is the answer. I don't think we have more 3-2s, unfortunately. Okay. Let's search with Epiphany. I technically have a score here. It's a tough score because it's double BAU on this flat grid. Which would cost me 4, then gain me 2. Score 2, get a card back with powers. Card back with powers can be like Magistrate or something. Whatever, I think we're supposed to just score. I could use the Epiphany and see if there's a gender on top of the deck, which might be cheaper. Embedded reporting is kind of cheaper, or Let Them Dream is also fine. Let's just do embedded reporting in server 8. And if I raise powers, I can put 2 over here, score. Go and grab back maybe another Vlad grid because I can go and trash this one in server 1. My auxiliary backup Vlad grid. Yeah, this game's been played terribly. I can't afford to raise this white space, so this cohort can't bounce me back. That's pretty bad. Swift, so they're doing deep dive. And zoom in a touch. I'm just going to grab a glass of water real quick. Uno momento. Oh, overclock is happening. That's fine. That doesn't actually save them very many credits. Because I can just like... Okay, that's nice. I'm going to shuffle some cards back, namely Predictive and Hedge Fund. So I can res you. And then I'm going to no further actions it, because if you want to trash it, you can. Because it still costs a real credit. And I'm still care about those. I'd love if this cohort lived, but it would be very surprising if it's allowed to. Draw. This is a mistake. This cohort firing is like, yeah, no, this is super wrong. You can't let this cohort fire. It's going to bounce me back so nicely. I would love to trash. I'm probably going to trash this Stoke so I can just spin it back later. Let's say new emote. Magistrate and server 7. Magistrate and a new emote. Let's keep the tempo up. Yeah, I don't know where grubber money is coming from. I don't think grubber money exists. It's really expensive for us to score because you have to raise from bad grade. So this seems to tax him nothing because it's just 2 for evolve, you get the 2 back, but it does tax evolver counters. There's only so many of those. Okay, overclocks the other magistrate, that's fine. I do really wish we were on artificial crypto crash because that scoring that has so much more of an impact than just scoring a blank 3-2 or Stoke. Stoke, maybe we keep. Maybe we just do the artificial crypto crash stuff because we can do it. And it would give us so much time. Last click running against Epiphany is scary. Let's get our money back up. I think we can't afford this drafter anymore. Maybe we're not doing embedded, we can just spin it. I could... slowly going to get our money back up. Kind of wishing we were Alco here. Maybe I'm playing this too much like Alco. Maybe there's too much ice in the deck. I'm not sure how much this ice matters. So the spice of this list is that it's doing... what? Oh, hey, Peter Celia. The spice is that it's doing Hype Machine, and we haven't drawn any of these. But also, we wouldn't really be able to use them if we did. So you control the top of the deck. Well, I haven't been using the Epiphany ability probably when I should have. This is extremely expensive for them unless they want to let us fire something. Because they've run with their echelon at 2 and they currently can't break both. And Justice thinks there's a couple of draws that, because he got the knick-knack draw when he ran. So now that, like, unfortunately, knick-knack can make undoable runs. He can throw the gun as well, but a full fire is pretty nice for us because we can add a card to HQ. It can probably be it should be a money card, but I guess that can't be the case. So business as usual is nice. An installer card can be installing a magistrate or stoke. A stoke would be fun. Where would I install a stoke? Can they get into this server on their last click? I don't think they can, right? Because they don't have a decoder. They're on the wrong credit total for it. Ah, that's very good. So when they've got 1 click left, their range is very calculable because unless they have a very cool event, they can't produce a card to deal with as a white space and also run it because they want 8 credits. They'd go down to 6. They go down to 5. Sorry. Beta build. Hell yeah. Okay, no, never mind. They can. They absolutely can. Oh, that's awesome. And I didn't install anything useful. I didn't install the damned magistrates, so they can just take it so easily. Damn, I got cooked. I'm gonna res this as well. Oh, that's nice. We got 2 face downs here. But I need more money. I will trash this fly swatter because I assume they're gonna have this oiler down soon. And then I will trash. I will turn a card face up, which can be grubber, which can advance over here. So I can install tomorrow's headline. I can res this. I can BAU. And I can remove virus counters if I want to. I will not. I will score this. Which will be tomorrow's headline for a tag. And I guess I grab a magistrate. And server 1. And then I install a hype machine somewhere and res it. I'm not sure if this is especially good, but it does something. This is like more of a cohort game than it has been a hype machine game, that's for sure. But they have to trash this Vlad grid. I guess they had to trash the Vlad grid anyway, so maybe installing the hype machine elsewhere was better. I also could have just trashed something using the tag, but I think that puts me too broke. Letting them clear the tag themselves is probably better. Oh, where's the magistrate? I'm so poor. I've handled this game very badly, but I've also handled my econ very badly. This deck is always poor. Then why'd you put grubbers in it? I wish NBN had econ. They have. Is this Deck Doctor or is Vasilio a real card? Yeah. Justice. Figure this out. Figure out this board state. Is Vasilia a real card? Vasilia is confusingly not a real card. Well, that's not getting resed, I can tell you that much. Yeah, Vasilia has not been resed and will not fire ever. Also, the tag that it gives doesn't matter because we have no tag punishment. This is not a bad overclock. I wonder how much they're gonna sink into, like if they get a coal with this overclock and then also use the one on the cupulation, for instance, and they will have to spend real money for this Lepton tree. But it's kind of a wash. I don't think it's very much. Yeah, only one credit to steal the Lepton dream, which is fine. If we had Plutus here, we could dump by hand. How many cards is in this deck? 20, 33, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 cards. Good player clears their tags here. Man, a player with profound foresight into what type punishment I run would perhaps not clear their tags. We literally cannot afford to do anything about all this. Yeah, I'm not good at Epiphany. I'm looking forward to reaching into my deck and grabbing a couple of good cards there. It's going to be nice. I have 2 face downs, so I could just like double charge this flag grid, and then if I have any agendas anywhere, I get loads of value off of it. Ooh, installing this environmental is crazy. This cohort can trash, because I do want a little bit of money. And this one can turn. This fly swatter and advance this flag grid. Then let's Epiphany. Stoke. Predictive hype machine. Stoke can live in server 7. Can reveal itself to advance itself. Then BAU. Place 2 advancement counters here and here. Then I can do some really interesting stuff here. In fact, I might have just won. Score. The powers that be is going to grab embedded reporting into server 7. Magistrate with Vontulet can make you lose 3. Stoke the Embers is going to place an advancement counters on embedded. Advance. Ooh. Ooh. They didn't know. One in chat if you did not know that you could order your powers that be and stoke triggers like that. because I just feel I didn't know either. That was fun. That was a neat little trick. Um, we could have just got a 2-1 also, which would have made things easier, but there's plenty in the deck. They're not going to steal them. It's hard to steal deck agendas from this deck. Okay, so what have we learned? Hype Machine good? I I don't know. It didn't really do anything. And yeah, I can see why. Like it was nice having the 3-2 there because we could do funny scoring lines with it much more easily. I could have just double advanced the Vlad grid, but Vlad grid is once per turn. So actually it wouldn't have helped, I think. The Alco version is funnier. Of Hype Machine, Alco Hype Machine is cool, but the Hype Machine is 3 influence, which doesn't matter for this deck because it's an unusual deck that's actually in NBN. Is this at all inspired by my Eternal deck? You'll need to ask Harvey because I don't know. This was inspired by my friend just saying like, look, I put Hype Machine into the faction that is allowed to run Hype Machine without spending 3 influence. Hey Justice, yes, that was a blast. I had a great time. Really good game. Ah, inspirational. Nah, don't give Not Yeti an inch. He doesn't deserve it. Um, it's cool. Like, okay, Hype Machine is a cool card. I really like it. I do wish it was 2 influence. I assume it's 3 influence because of otherwise of Ob just kind of immediately ends the game. Like, imagine if Ob could just run like 2 of these. Like, it would be stupid. But also, like, Ob can't ruin everything for everyone. Just I think NBN is real. Like this deck is basically real. I think specifically the good, like the tested good version of it is real. Epiphany is just good. Literally no one plays it. No one was playing Epiphany at Reading. 0 players. There were more Synapse players than Epiphany players, which was 1. But Fun 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 is like actually legitimately strong. It is maybe not tier 0 or anything like that. It's not getting too silly, but like it's good. It's not on the popular list. How come? Why are people reacting positively to this? This is vague loo. People give Not Yeti way too much. This is so cringe. What was I looking at? Yeah, okay. So there's no Epiphany on the popular page, that's for sure. But if I search up deck list search fun, uh let's just search up fun. Okay, fun space, fun space, fun. Okay, this is real. Now it's time for me to practice with the fiance for Hasselt. I hope you do very well, Peter. I hope that the hope the coaching has good results and you just sweep and everyone will just come to me for lessons. That would be very funny. But also for you personally, I hope you do well. I thought they weren't balancing new cards around Ob and would just ban it when it inevitably goes over the top. The Hype Machine was released before that philosophy was officially announced, I believe. So I suspect Hype Machine was 3 influence specifically because of Ob. Because it's not an effect that seems to demand 3 influence to me. It's like Hollow Man is 3 influence because Hollow Man is like, holy, like that's a lot of juice. It's like a very wins the game card. Hype Machine is like a little supplement. It's like a little Zhuzh. It does cost 6 if you hard res it. So it's really not. It does like a similar thing to Hollow Man, except Hollow Man clears it by such a huge margin. Outside of like it, one of them works with Ob, so one like yeah, it could have been two influences. My point. Um, maybe it's just like I'm just a raving lunatic, and my paranoia about Ob is getting to me. So this one was on Artificial Crypto Crash, which yeah, you're not allowed to run the +7, so you gotta run the -7. That's fine. Embedded's freedoms are kind of like passive tag punishment. Kind of tag punishment that doesn't cost you slots, which is pretty nice. Yeah, one embedded, one tomorrow's. The moon pool. That's good. 3 cohorts is so nice. 1 BAU. I wonder if you're allowed to run more than 1 BAU. You like cut one cohort and you just run 3 BAU and just say like I always fast advancing, and then you change the freedoms to more 3-2s. But yeah, I don't know if Hype Machine is really all worth it, like at all. And if you're doing Hype Machine, maybe you need to be like doing crazy combos with it. Like in that game, I scored out 4 points in one turn. That's pretty powerful. I fast advanced 4 points in one turn. Maybe that's a required thing to be doing if you're doing Hype Machine at all. In which case, maybe you're not doing an asset deck. Maybe you're doing like a one scoring remote, and you're just putting a hollow like a I don't know. That kind of is relying on the idea that NBN Ice holds at all for a single turn, and that is a pipe dream. That is another delusion to chase. Yeah, you don't need much ice to win games, hey? Who is this player? Jesu? Have I played against them? I assume I have. But yeah, this list is fantastic. And to demonstrate that point, I will play a game of it. This will bring me into my epiphany zone. Actually, I have half an hour before my next coaching session, so I should probably not boot up a game of epiphany, even though it will be fun. I shouldn't. I should. I've already done my prep for this lesson ahead of time, so I've been wise. Didn't ZZ also play a version of this? I don't know who ZZ is. But I can tell you no one's been playing it in the UK, even though we love NBN over here, but at the moment people do not care. Zomsraft, yes. Sweet Dreams, 3rd at Summer Showdown. This version doing more sentries, doing 3 Doom scrolls rather than the 1 unsmiling. That actually makes some amount of sense to me. Kind of, yeah. All right, I believe it. 3 to res is nicer, and the breakpoints are pretty easy. We remember good NBN decks. Oh, we miss them too much. It's too painful for us to. This is a good NBN deck. These decks are good. They are amongst the strongest things that you can be doing, and we're not doing them anywhere. So it seems like we have very high standards for decks, which doesn't sound right. So something is going on. Something is in the water in the UK that we're not playing anything like this. Now, it is true that we are like, to everyone's confusion, seemingly like frothing over Reg Lu. Want to play against your Lu? I have played against your Lu. It's the only runner deck. It's the only thing people are playing. It's all you've got. Every card in it I've played against 1,000 times. It's the most normal deck. I do have time to, because the games are fun and like they don't last long. So let's just do it, I guess. As Epiphany, you wouldn't want to see Lu. Yes, that's my point. My roundabout way of getting to the point is that like I could see a reasoning that the UK isn't playing the Epiphany decks because the only deck, like only runner deck you're allowed to play is Lu. It would be played a lot more if there was a more diverse runner pool. But yeah, I agree with the point. Reg Lu seems to be the best runner deck that you can play, and it probably has a pretty winning matchup into Epiphany. I don't think it'll be completely trivial. Like, I don't think you'll be losing round one pools to just some, Reg Lu player, average Joe who just showed up, grabbed a popular deck list and is piloting it. Like, you'll still bury them in oppos, but I could see it being pretty losing at top cut level. It probably also beats this list pretty handily. Might just take too much time to set it with Padma. Um, okay. Yeah. What's this one? Friday's list. Ablative? Okay. Wage workers like the wage workers. Nah, not allowed off World Office anymore. Are ambient asset decks just super draining in long tournaments? They are tricky to play because of the top of the deck mechanism requires you to memorize lists of things over and over and over again. And they do meaningfully they do have pretty wide decision trees a lot of the time. Um, you're constantly calculating and recalculating the runner's reach. You're constantly developing kind of weird board states that you wouldn't have been getting used to from playing other decks. Looking at the top three, picking one, and then remembering with the order of the other ones is quite a bit easier than like an Alco equivalent where you just pick one to trash and then draw them, because once you have them in your hand, that thinking is done. Whereas Epiphany, you're thinking like, what was on top of the deck again? I should be using this for my decision making. So I think it's probably kind of tricky to play Epiphany over a long tournament, but you should be able to, like, good players will be able to do it. I don't think it's hard enough that like generally people probably won't want to do it. People wouldn't be excited to like, oh, did you hear about this really slow, very like tactical Epiphany deck that just kind of like ekes out on trash costs and tag removal costs, and then slowly drains the runner too much and can pivot that into winning the game. That's, you know, neat that it can exist, but people don't necessarily jump to play that in tournaments. And certainly they don't jump to play against it in tournaments. It can be tough to play against it, even when like I should know the lines and the things that I need to do. It's sometimes you still lose anyway because the deck is good and it can beat you even if you play well. And when you're losing against this deck, it is pretty annoying. So yeah, I don't think they are beloved, but this is playable NBNs. If you want to play NBN, you absolutely can. You can win games. It's interesting that like Vladis versus City Grid is like the given right now. Like this is just what you do in Epiphany, but that was not the case um, pretty recently. I'm prone to tilt against NBN. That's fair. A lot of people are. Like it's like Wayland, for example, has like measured, and it's powerful, and you can easily forget about it. And then if it happens to you, you lose. But then you lose. Like the game is over. You're done. There's nothing more. You don't have to keep playing. But NBN, you forget about Oppo, or you run last click, or you hope that it's not a Starlit Knight and then it's a Starlit Knight, or you hope it's not a Checker Scion and it's a Checker Scion. And it's like, oh, I've lost, or I'm almost certainly going to lose, but we are not even close to finishing this game. This is the very start of the game, which I have already lost, and that's tough. Um, Jinteki, like Alco, can produce similar games. It's like their bladderworts are fucking every turn. They're stuck a cohort. They've got a FUT down. You've lost. You aren't going to win. But actually, the game is going to go on a lot longer. Your turns are going to be draw, 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 and their turns are going to be scoring, developing, oppoing, like all sorts. Um, HB, I think, doesn't really have an equivalent because they also win pretty quick. Although the combo decks can take a long time, so you're sitting across the table for a while, but that actually hasn't happened to me yet, so I'll report back when it does. Okay, I have a lesson in 20 minutes. If you guys want to get coaching, just DM me on Discord and we can talk about it. It's good. It's fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go prep for my lesson and maybe have a snack before I start that. Goodbye. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Maybe I'll do some more streaming this week. I would like to. Like to show off some more of my cool decks that I've been developing, and maybe it's time to get some more deck doctors out into the ecosystem because the meta is not as stagnant as the numbers would suggest. People are just not very creative. All right, see you guys. Bye.